Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast. Today, we have some awesome guests, but first, I have to let you know that you must go to iTunes and Stitcher to make sure that you download the podcast. Now, today we're going to talk about FroButter. For those who have textured hair and you want to manage it well, we're going to go back to nature so that you can get your hair together. Now, there's a company. Now, this is very important for everybody to know. Women are doing it big with each passing year, and they are sustaining our lives and giving us great things for us to, move forward in our life. And I have two great business owners, Susanna Stewart and Caroline. Caroline, help me with your last name.
Mina.
Caroline Mina on the line here, who I'm going to interview so we can find out, A, their journey about their company, how it got started, the trials and tribulations, and the good, great, wonderful, awesome products they have for your hair care. How you doing, guys?
We're doing good. Thank you for having us.
Now, let me ask you guys, how did this get started? What was the driving force and how did it manifest?
It started from, I'm going to go first. So this is Caroline. It started from us finding a need within ourselves. And I remember I'm not good with hair. Susanna is the beautician. So I'm on the other business side. So I really needed a lot of help. So everything we had, the chemicals and the processing, I could not make any headway. So when Susanna would do my hair, we were like, there must be something better. And that's when we decided to both go back to our roots from Kenya. And we remembered all the recipes that our grandparents used to use, all the natural stuff. So that's how we started making our own recipes from the kitchen, working them, using them on our hair, and they became a success. And eventually, selling it family to friends, and it grew into a business.
So with that business, once you stumble upon something, you have a product, you have an audience that needs it. How do you go from doing it just for family and friends to becoming a business? Because your website is beautiful. I love the way you laid that out. And that takes steps. Most people don't know that because they don't teach us that in school. They don't tell us that, particularly in America. How did you go through that process of learning those steps you needed to do in order to bring this to a corporation, business entity that can sustain your life?
This is Susanna, and a lot of it was pretty much research via online, and I'm also in business school, so that helped a lot in the formation of the business. But even without the education standpoint, there's still a lot of information that can be found online through the SBA. That's the Small Business Association. There's a lot of different things that you can find online that can help with the formation of your business and getting it from just a startup to an actual functioning for-profit business.
And as for women of color who have their own business, and particularly because you guys are in Atlanta, Georgia, and that is kind of a bustling place for business and entrepreneurship in America. Did you find that you had better resources because you were in that area?
Yes, I think that had a contribution. That we had a lot of people out here who were also up to help women to rise in the area of business. I know one of the other organizations we had reached out to was SCORE, SCORE, and they offer mentorship programs. And another thing I would like to add to what Susanna was the fact that we come from being that we're immigrants. We have that inside drive to make us just go ahead and push beyond the limits. So I want to say that also was a big factor to making us push and not give up when we didn't know what to do. We're like, okay, we've been able to make it in a land that we're not familiar with. So even in the unknown of business, we're still going to push ourselves and strive and, thrive.
That's awesome. Because one of my early mentors, and I didn't even know he was a mentor, was a gentleman from Jamaica. And he says, I said, why didn't you go to Canada? It's easier for you to go there. He says, look, man, America is the place for you to be anything you want. He was like, and when you're not from here, you understand that. And that helped me to say, he's right. And I see that with a lot of people who come from outside the country. Was there any hardships that you did run into because you were not natively born on American soil?
Yes, of course, there'll always be challenges. First of all, capital was, a big thing, because to start this whole thing up, you have a lot to invest. And in addition to capital, we had to sacrifice a lot of time behind the scenes. When you see something on a website, it's probably taken hours and hundreds of hours to get that small step out there in the public. So the sacrifices we've made behind the scenes have been both financial, time-wise. We have a good support system from our family and friends, but definitely we've had to give up something to gain something.
That's a really great point that you bring up, because most people don't know that it's a slow start. But once the fire gets going, it burns brightly. These are the things that they don't teach us in school. And that's what the Billionaire Lifestyle podcast and blog is about, is letting people know there's a desire in your heart. And all you have to do is follow those little things that your heart's telling you, and you will prosper and be far more happier with your life instead of following what someone else says for you to do. Now, how did you guys come together? You say she was your hairdresser?
Susanna, you want to take that one? We have history.
We actually met. We worked at the same retail company, and that's how we initially met. And we kind of clicked because we were both from different countries. So it was easy for us to understand the struggles that we were going through, just trying to be just regular working class. We could bond over that. So our friendship started, and it evolved into me doing her hair. And then it just kind of evolved from there. And it's been about 12 or 13 years or something like that.
Now, Caroline,
now we're stuck.
You're from Kenya, correct?
Correct.
And Susanna, you're from where?
I'm from Jamaica.
Ah, yeah, buddy. I have a story about Jamaica. I was on a tour, and I went into a restaurant. And I said, I like some conch soup. And the guy looks at me and goes, you're not from here. How do you know how to say that?
Yeah.
I'm like, because I listen with my ear. Now,
many people pronounce the word conch wrong, so good job on pronouncing it correct.
Now that you guys have this business, your target demographic is it's really particularly women with a certain texture of hair, and you've gotten a lot of great testimonials and reviews on YouTube. What expansion could you do with your product? And if you could explain a little bit about the basis for your product and how you want it for the world.
Okay, our products are all shea butter based, all organic, natural shea butter based products. Our target market is really anyone with hair and skin. I would say that, because it can be used for skin, it can be used for hair, and different textures. People with chemical relaxers can still use it as spot treatments. So it's very versatile. If you have locks, you can use it. Even if you have straight hair, you can use it. So if you have hair and skin, you are our target market, and that's who we aim for.
I know one demographic you guys need to target hard, because I see these kids in the in the grocery store. These biracial children whose mothers don't know how to do their hair.
Yeah, and we do have that market under lock as well, especially for the kids. A lot of these moms are confused about how to detangle, so we created products just for detangling. So we kind of reached out to every segment that had problem areas. And yes, the biracial community is one of the ones that we reached out to pretty hard because of the knotted and tangled hair.
How did your marketing campaign begin? Did you start with a single product and then move to additional products, or how did that transpire?
We had two phases which were not planned out. It was just coincidence. So when we first started, we had the FroButter, we had the different fragrances, and that was when we were new. That was around like 2012. We were small, and we realized that we needed to change the way we launched our products. Instead of targeting on scents, we decided to go back and rebrand and come back targeting the needs. Narrowed down the major needs. We were like, it's not about a matter of how it smells. People are looking for something to solve a problem or a need they have. So we came back again with a new rebranded version, which was the four butters. And we do have a spritzer now. So that's now our goal, is to target the problem areas and go ahead and market those. So we now have the lines, which we have with the one that does, if you need edges, moisture for the children, for the locks and the twist outs. And we also have the spritzer if you're looking for something light, and also the soap. So that's been our angle now as a company.
Yes, I'm on your website now. I'm showing it on the video, and I see that you have a online store, which kind of details everything that you guys produce and offer to the public. Also, you guys have a freebies with one winner every week. Can you explain to the audience some more about that?
Oh, our freebie is pretty much a part of our text campaign. As you text a certain number and you text a code word. And each week we randomly select a winner that just receives free product. So it's just a way to kind of give back and keep people excited and engaged.
That's a pretty awesome idea. I like that idea. So now I'm going to your press page or your media page, and you have all these beautiful women who are just touting and reviewing your products. It's such a great visual campaign, particularly for women, because they can see instantaneous, or they can see the results. And I've even seen one of the videos where the woman says, "This is when I'm using the products, even after I wash my hair, how my texture has maintained itself." So you guys are building a great brand with your audience, which is really awesome because you're in communication. That's what I like about women-owned businesses. Where do you see yourself going forward? What campaigns do you have coming forward?
Our biggest goal, I think, down the line is to be in every bathroom in the world. We know it's ambitious, but that's our goal. But we know it's a marathon. We're going to have to take baby steps. So we build loyalty one woman at a time, one word of mouth at a time. So we're not greedy right now. So we keep having to monitor our market because it's natural hair. A lot changes. You have to keep current and be able to hear back. It's not just a matter of putting it all out there. You also have to get your feedback from your audience. So in as much as some companies will have a harsh campaign product or a whole target or timeline, we like to pace ourselves and get feedback. So now we just finished the fourth quarter of 2016. So we want to listen back and see, what did we hear this last quarter? What are people saying? What do they need? So as we go back now into 2017, we know what to target, not just to go out blindly and just give, yet we're not listening to what they need.
Let me ask you something. How did you find your customer base from Atlanta, Georgia? How did you build that brand out from just a circle of your family and friends? Did you approach salons and stylists? Did you go to women's conferences? How did you bring out brand awareness?
We went heavily with the mom and pop approach. A lot of the bigger box companies, a lot of times require more trust, but the mom and pop beauty supply store, barber shops, they were more willing to take an opportunity and a chance on us. In exchange, of course, sometimes for free products and things of that nature. And we also did a lot of hair shows and local events in our area, and just kind of build a rapport with our customers that way as well.
So were you guys involved in hair wars down in Atlanta?
No, we weren't a part of the hair wars.
Yeah, because I know that's an event that happens down there, and everybody turns out. Here's what I'm about to drop a bomb on you, and then you can just send me my check once it starts rolling in. Here's the thing that, you guys made me think of it, because there's a movement that is happening in America now with men, and I can't do it because if you see, I got a hole in my afro. So I can't really use it, and I can't grow hair on my face, but there are a great deal of men who I think this product would be beneficial for, because they're grooming far more better, and they're taking particularly good care of their the stuff that's on their head. Do you see moving into that market for the male demographic?
Yes, we're slowly trying to creep into that market. If you look on our website, we do have a category for beard, for men that do groom their beards and like to take care of it, because after all, it is hair, and it can get split ends and get dry and frizzled as well, that are catered and tailored to the grooming and maintenance of men. And as the time go by, we're hoping to spread that out and continue to build that rapport with men in the community as well. Good deal.
And now I see that you have great product containers and branding on your containers. How did you come about that? Because, when you're starting in business, you don't know the minuscule things. You don't know, like, hey, I got to have this type of font on this size bottle because people don't like things bigger than this, or they don't like them too small. Somebody might like to have an item that fits in their purse and all the lettering wears off. How did you come across packaging, marketing of that packaging, and finding out how people respond to little things of that nature?
Well, as I mentioned, we made the mistake at first, because our first packaging was totally different from how it looks today. If you look, I don't know if we need to do a throwback picture and show how FroButter first started. So after we did that, we went into the market. The little stores were like, oh, you know what? We do need to change the whole face of our products, our containers, our labels, our fonts, and everything. So we did make that mistake as entrepreneurs, as people starting up, and then we came back now with what you see currently.
Good. And are you gathering information from other entrepreneurs about how to proceed forward? And it may not even be a business that's relative to yours, but just gaining knowledge from your community of entrepreneurs in your area.
A lot of things that we've done is kind of like market research. We've done a lot of market research, and it hasn't been face-to-face shadowing any other entrepreneurs in the area or industry, but it's just been Googling, online research, seeing what people do, seeing how other companies started off and how they changed and transitioned. And we kind of watched them. And, both of us came from a background that was not involved in business. So this was all new territory for us. But just seeing how others have done it was a big help. Seeing the mistakes they made, then trying to improve on those mistakes. And that's pretty much how a lot of our knowledge was gained. We looked at how others were failing, and we try to fill those gaps. And it sounds horrible, but it's really what gave us that edge, because we see the loopholes in the products and brands that were already out there. And then we see, okay, how can we fix that problem and make ours a lot better? How can we make sure that we get labels that the letters don't rub off, like you mentioned? We had to get ones with a protective gloss, but still make sure that it was affordable and it didn't drive our costs up. So we just kind of monitored the market, see what was out there, and then went back to the drawing board and tried to improve on those mistakes.
Very good. And let me ask you this, because I've had business partners in the past, and it's a challenge. How do you guys, when you don't agree on something, how do you come to an impact? How do you come to a point where you have to go with one, the other, or something different?
I think that's
agreeable. Caroline is an awesome business partner because she's very agreeable, but overall, we stay within our strengths. We each have different strengths, and we try not to overlap. So in what she's strong in, I stay away from, and what I'm strong in, she stay away from. Therefore, we don't have much conflicts, if any conflicts at all, really, because we both work within our element, and we kind of identify which elements are our elements.
Good.
And I'll answer that one as well.
Yeah, that's very true. We've learned that, she's good at this, I'm good, and I respect that. And I think that's something else that I trust that she's gonna pull the trigger, because if that's her strength, she's gonna make the best decision for us. The other thing that I know has worked for us is, if it's something that's gonna be a deal breaker, we put emotion aside and look at it. This is business, like from a business perspective. What would the business, what's the business gonna benefit? It might be painful for me as an individual, because I might feel like, oh man, I put the work into this, but it's business at the end of the day. So that has been helpful. That has been helpful.
And that is, you just stated a great point, that many people, particularly if they don't come from a business family, or they don't come from a background where they're versed in business, we tend to make emotional decisions, and you can't stand aside from it and says, what's best for the business? Because as you guys are in business, you have three entities. You have each other, and then you have the business that is your partner as well. And you guys are both like parents looking out for the business itself. That's a really awesome thing. Mm-hmm. Now, are you guys going to be making appearances? Are you going to be at any shows? Are you going to be doing any hair clinics or producing any media for 2017?
At this point, we have nothing in the works. I would say that we have a PR reaches out and do a lot of our planning for us. So as she tells us that this is on schedule, and that's what we do. So at this moment, there's nothing on the horizon, but I'm sure she's cooking something up, because she's always cooking stuff here and try to be more in the public eye and help with awareness and brand awareness.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you ladies so much for giving us some information. And can you tell us the very things of how to contact you? If you have a Facebook group, if you have Twitter, your website, give me everything so that people can find you.
All right, we can be reached on our website, the FroButter.com. It's the same name on Instagram, on Twitter, and all the sources we go by FroButter.com, and we'll even email. Our email is still the same, FroButter.com. We still have some people who email us and ask us questions. So we're pretty down to earth, and we'll reach out to you. And we haven't grown that big where we can't get in contact with our customers on a one-to-one basis.
Good. So that's www.FroButter.com. And that's FroButter at Twitter. And FroButter@gmail.com. Correct?
Correct.
I just want to make sure everything was clear so that the people could hear it. Thank you guys for being on the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast. Let me say something to everyone. We're in a new year. We're in a new space. We're in a space where anything is possible. We just saw a reality star become president. That's not up for me to decide. The people decided. So that lets you know you can do anything that your heart's desire. There's two things that you have to do. You have to speak it with your mouth, and you have to write it with your hand. If you don't have a hand to write it with your mouth. Bring words into reality. That's the things that start here, come out of here, and manifest here. You can do anything. Also remember, you are loved. Even though you may feel lonely, even though you may feel no one cares, someone cares. You just don't notice them. With that, we're out. Have an awesome day from the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast.